it just got so peaceful, didn't it? All the blah, 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 gah, 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 gah.
Well, it's interesting now. It's the competition's pretty close in the pull between health and family.
It's like, people sometimes just they have to talk and talk when they're not saying anything. It's good to talk when you have something, worth saying. Something that's valid, that has something of substance.
We don't mind a little comfortable silence.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in general, I've been asked as an atheist, if I were to revise the Ten Commandments, what would I change? I would change the commandment of, do not commit adultery, to turn off that fucking cell phone. You have no idea how unimportant your call is to me.
Wait, Necro, you were in the Matrix. At least for me, I didn't hear any of that. I'm sorry.
I heard that crazy shit.
Okay, maybe it's a good thing I didn't hear it.
Yeah, in a way, I just said that, I was asked as an atheist, what would I, if I were to revise the Ten Commandments, and I said I would change the commandment of thou shalt not commit adultery to turn off your fucking cell phone.
Why would an atheist have an opinion on the Ten Commandments?
I don't know, because people give me the Bible, so it's kind of difficult for me to not have an opinion on a book that people give around so freely.
No, you missed the last part. I said that's relevant.
Sorry, what was your question?
Why would somebody care about an atheist's opinion on the Ten Commandments? Why is his opinion even relevant?
Oh, well, because theists, when they say that the Ten Commandments, a lot of them will say the Ten Commandments is the best moral paradigm, and to which, I always point out that the First Commandment literally contradicts the First Amendment of the Constitution.
Oh, so I can answer this, Hakima. Most atheists, their biggest gripe is that God is a moral monster who imposes morality upon the world, and they disagree with God's morality because God said that homosexuality is a sin and all these other things that they think should be totally fine.
You know what I find silly about atheists? Most atheists focus God on the Christian God or the God of the Old Testament. That's just funny. They hate every other God. They really just Christians. They just disillusioned Christians, really.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is something that in the United States, it's the religion that's the most common. I mean, if I grew up in Saudi Arabia, I probably would speak more about Islam. But, even though I do speak, Roger's heard me rant, and you, Hakima, know that I've not pulled my punches against you with Islam very well. But, yeah, mostly I don't have any issue with Christians, though. It's just, mostly ones who, mostly it's just, just answering questions they have, because a lot of theists wonder essentially where people get their morality, basically. And so
I would just like to mention that, there's no shit chance in hell that you would voice your opinion about Islam in Saudi Arabia because it's punishable by death, and most atheists are too cowardice to do.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I think it is something that, I think it is kind of a double standard of the media when they talk about Uganda's homophobic laws, but they will not speak against, other countries that we do business with who have had their laws like their homophobic laws on the books much longer.
Funny you talk about homosexuality being a sin, but then there's everybody is a sinner, right? So who's the judge?
So this is a good question, Tom, and I'll answer it for you. So Leviticus 18:22 says, "A man that lay with a man the way he lay with a woman is detestable, saith the Lord." But also in Leviticus, if you scroll down a few, it says that if you wear clothing woven of two types of material, that is also a sin. So I would say that God has decreed that if you wear cotton polyester t-shirts, that is the equivalent in his eyes of having homosexual sex.
I'd just like to respond to that. It's only applicable to people during the time that the temple is in existence. So if there's a third temple that's built, then that would be applicable today. Also, it's only applicable to Israelites.
Wait, hold on. No, this may be true based on whatever theological studies you go through. What I'm talking about is rank and file Christians that will pick and choose the verses that they want to weaponize against people that have other sins that they don't suffer through. So I think the point is that while Christians have dumbed down the Bible and tried to create 10 commandments because they don't have good memories, the Torah gives you 613 commandments. And of those, it seems like if you were to go through the 613, the only ones that modern day American Christians care about is you can't be a faggot.
Well, actually, the ones that we should care about are the ones Jesus said are still applicable today through Christianity, which he also said homosexuality is still a sin. He didn't say he said that he could fulfill the laws. That means it's not only because of equality.
No, hold on. Rich, I know that you read a bit, but I also read a bit, so I'm going to call you out on this. What he actually says was, I didn't come to replace the laws of Moses. I came to fulfill them. So the laws are still in play. The idea that you think that the laws are not in play. What he did do, though, is distill it down, and he said that if you love him, referring to God, and you love them, referring to people, that you will fulfill them. So that's what he actually says. So you can bastardize it any way you want, twist it in any way you want, but I don't even care what the Bible says. What I do care about is that there's people in 2025 that have a bunch of dust on their Bible that walk around saying that gays are going to go to hell. And that's a weird thing to say, considering the book itself tells you to love people. And so, not to hear people condemn people that identify as Christians, I have a big funny problem with it because you're not following the two most important commandments. Thank you.
Yeah, the take upon to love your God, love your heart, love your mind, to love your neighbor the way you love God. And say, also 613. Also, secondly, it says to love the person but not the sin, and to reject the sin. So I agree.
But Rich, like, Jesus was way more explicit about divorce, but he was like never mentioned homosexuality. Christians seem to not care as much about divorce, as much as they do about homosexuality.
That's 100% not true. Jesus went through
Hold on. You guys are going to do the talk past each other thing where he's going to...
I was responding to him.
Well, hold on. No, but you were getting ready to do because you went to say what Jesus says. Here's the thing. You need to declare your terms here. Are you talking about what Christians in 2025 believe?
Oh, dang. No, so, Necro, Jesus explicitly said that no thieves, no murderers, no adulterers at heart, no homosexuals shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he also said that we should love them.
That wasn't Jesus, that was me.
No, it's Jesus.
No, that was
literally Jesus. You want Jesus' word?
So where did show me where Jesus said those words.
Well, Jesus explicitly said that no sinner shall enter the kingdom of heaven, that there's no way into the kingdom of heaven except through by Christ. So is homosexuality considered a sin? Yes. So if you're sinning and you don't turn away from your sin and turn away from your flesh, then you will not enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, and yeah, Christians seem to be more concerned about gay marriage than they are about divorce.
Or sex out of wedlock.
Yeah, it's probably better practice to put all your attention on yourself and being the best you can be, and not project on others.
Yeah, like in general, if you personally like think that gay marriage is something that is something that is wrong, then I mean that's just your personal opinion. I don't care like about your personal opinion. If you keep it to yourself,
Wait, hold on. My phone, Joe B. Joe B, get up here. Necro's got pressure. No, it's not correct. So, my phone dies at the weirdest times. So I just wanted to, kind of, get you guys to get on track. Are you guys talking about what Christians claim to believe in 2025? Or are you talking about what the Bible says? Because those are two very, okay, so that's not the conversation Necro is having. Because, and this is one of the things where I think that this always take place is that one person will reference the Bible and so I think that's if you're talking about arguing with the Bible, it becomes less interesting to me because of the Bible and using that as a reference point is just I think what makes it more interesting is if you were to read the text, if you were to read it to understand it, and then you were to say 25 Christians don't practice what the Bible says. And I think that's the point. I think the people that condemn homosexuality based on their belief in the Bible are ignoring the two greatest commandments. You are called to love people, not to hate them, not to not to cast your judgment on them. And so, and again, if you want to have a biblical argument, I'm happy for it. I'm up for the smoke, but I'm gonna call out the hypocrisy. And what's interesting to me is that in my experience, you were king cherry picker. Like honestly, like if this is your interpretation. Expire at the end of the next session. It's 3. Like, yeah, okay. What you judgment on any. God's in control. And in fact, I would argue that it is a lack of faith that would cause you to call out the homosexual because you don't believe that God's got this. Go ahead.
I also call out fornicators. I also call out drunkards. I also call out drug addicts and tell them that if they don't turn away from their fleshly desires, then they're not going to enter the kingdom of heaven. And Jesus says,
that's
the woman.
Because you're not showing love.
Jesus says
the two main things that God told you, what Jesus told you to do was to love God and to love people. If you're not leading with love, you're not going to heaven. I want you to let this sink in, right? When you look at your wife in the eye, when you look at your kids and you're thinking of these fantasies of heaven, it's with your own belief system, you're not going to go there. You're not going to be there because you don't love.
No, we're to love with righteousness, to judge with righteousness. We're supposed to call people out and tell them what they're doing is wrong. The same that Christ did when he was talking to the woman who was in adultery.
Actually,
Can I answer, Roger? Can I answer? I just interrupted. Okay,
I gotta tell you something. Well, I will. I'm going to use my mind for it too. And then I'll pass it to Sarah. You want to jump in? Listen, I don't like to critique people for their religion. I will say that I don't believe that Islam is a religion. I think that that's a pedophile death cult. But when it comes to Christianity, I think it's very important. It's very important to lead with the love component. And when you find yourself being bigoted towards people that are committing sins that you don't struggle with, I think that what you should do is you should invest in a mirror. You should go look at yourself and you should ask yourself what sins you're committing, and you should focus more on asking forgiveness for those things rather than the things that you're making.
I love this lucky Jesus.
Roger, it's just smart. Hold on to Roger. It's just smart to lead with your heart rather than righteousness, because people don't want to listen to a righteous person, right? Someone that's being right all the time, right? It's about ego. It's about me, right? It has nothing to do with getting love. When you focus on the love of your heart, that is an open space for somebody to step into.
It's a time
Hey, this is Congressman. I'd like to be put in the queue. Thank you.
John, time out there. You think we should lie to people?
No, you didn't actually get what I just said.
Rich,
You want to? Yeah, guys.
when he calls us to righteously judge our brothers in Christ, that's who we're righteously called to judge.
That doesn't negate the fact that we're supposed to tell people the truth. That's what Jesus said, even to the woman who was condemned of adultery, get up and go and send it forward. Because, yeah, she became a Christian. But what did he say to the Pharisees? He said that they're like white tombs, that they're beautiful on the outside, but they're just full of dead man's bones. I mean, didn't he call them out for their, disbelief in God?
Which you can't tell the story, not the human experience. It wraps up in the story, right? It's all in your head. But love, Sarah, can you please explain that to me?
I was just going to say, unfortunately, I am a Christian. I probably do 2 to 3 hours of Bible study every day, so I kind of geek out on my Bible study. And I will say that, the greatest commandment is to love one another like you love the Lord. But I do tend to get a little bit frustrated when people talk about righteous judgment, because that righteous judgment is meant to be applicable to our brothers and sisters in Christ. And if they're not brothers and sisters in Christ, I think it's one thing if they come to you and they ask your opinion and they tell you they're struggling and they're looking for your advice. I'm not telling you should lie to them and not be truthful to them. But if they haven't asked for your opinion, I don't think that it sets a good witness.
Well, in serendipity, to further that point, what is the goal of sharing the good news? It's to turn people to Christ, is my understanding.
Absolutely.
I've spent a non-trivial amount of time studying this, and so when Rich communicates this stuff, I'm just saying that every fiber in my body says what he's saying is going to turn people away from Christ, not to Christ.
Do you believe that homosexuality is a sin?
I do. But you know what else I believe is a sin? I believe that telling a lie is a sin.
I agree.
I believe that cheating on your spouse is a sin. I believe that premarital sex is a sin. And I feel like the church, in the modern day and age, has done a serious injustice to some communities because they've weighted sin on a scale. And obviously, to the degree in which you commit things, yes, some are larger in scope as far as who they hurt, but I don't think that you can cherry pick sin. And I know me personally, I tend to stay in prayer a lot, and I try to always come with kindness first at everybody, but I fail sometimes, and I know that I've got my own personal struggles, things that I deal with that I know are set in my life. So I've got no business looking and microscoping the sin in anybody else's life, because I got to take care of what's in my backyard first.
So I want to add something here that I think is important, and I know Timok and Congressman Kitover. If somebody is using their religious text and their quote-unquote faith to weaponize it towards people that live a lifestyle that's different than theirs, this is not a religious thing. This is just, you're a bigot and you're using your biblical text to support your bigotry. And you could call it whatever you want. You could point to it and you could say, hey, the Lord said this. But if the person doesn't read that book and doesn't accept those truth claims, they're not bound by that. And there's a consequence according to the Bible for all of this, right? But that's not for you to do that. And if you really cared about people and you really believe that, hey, that's a sinful life and they're not going to have eternal life, and they would have more blessings if they flee from sin, I think that you would, instead of saying, hey, you're a sinner, I think what you would do is you would probably pull them aside and you would just ask them to learn about the love of Jesus rather than try to communicate to them the scorn.
Yeah, I mean, Rich, you're just as bad as like the people who complain about people not using the right pronouns. You're trying to impose your morality onto other people who do not accept it. So.
Rich, years ago I had an experience that changed my life. It was a supernatural experience. You could say I saw God, right? So God came to me. And I'm not saying this to brag or anything like that, because I've never been a religious person. I always believed in God, but I was never a religious person. Then I had some bad injuries. I train every day, twice a day, this kind of thing. Then I wasn't able to train for years, many, many years. And it really has you humble yourself. And so you should kiss the feet of God everywhere you walk. If you're a true, I'm not saying that how a Christian should behave, but you should kiss the ground that you walk on, the people that are in your space, and be grateful that you're in their space. And when you come from that place, it's not about giving someone else any power over you, anything like that. If you truly have the power of God with you, you're not worried about anything. You're completely free of fear, right? And all there is love. And nobody can deny that message. And you're not trying to fix anybody by being righteous. You're not going to fix anything, okay? You're going to just speak the word from that place. And that will resonate with the people that were willing to accept it. Everybody else, you leave them the fuck alone.
Serendipity, I have a real quick question.
Yeah.
Did Jesus say that we were to go and tell the people who are not in the faith that they need to stop their sinning and that they need to come to Christ and his atonement? If not, they will not enter the kingdom of heaven.
Jesus said to go and share the gospel.
Yep.
Yeah, Jesus said to go and share the gospel, which I think is different. The thing of it is, they can share the gospel.
Anything that I told her, he didn't even let it sink in.
Oh, I wasn't listening in time. I'm sorry.
No,
I was.
I just wanted to understand if he. I mean, it really, for me, I'm okay, but he's in the room, right? I want to know if he understood what I said.
Oh, I don't listen to like spiritualism and stuff.
Spiritualism?
He wasn't listening to listen, Timok. He was listening to speak, waiting to get his agenda points out.
Yeah, exactly.
Timok, do you believe that homosexuality is a sin against God?
Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, just Roger, I'm trying to get context to figure out where you're coming from.
Take him because he's one of your pieces of meat. he's not here to do anything except do it.
I'm simply asking you a question for clarification. Do you believe
No, you're
homosexuality
stuck, Mike.
is sin against
You're
God?
stuck. You're stuck.
Hello, moderators.
How do you see that this is not convincing?
You don't want to look at you.
No, it doesn't matter if it's convincing. You're the
You
dust
don't want
off
to
your
look at
sandals if they
yourself.
don't accept it.
You're afraid.
No,
Hi,
it
Timok,
does.
Rich, Marshall,
when you're
moderators.
engaging,
Wait a minute. Hold on. I just wanted to say one last thing. For me, like, one of the things that I look at in the scripture is how Jesus walked. And I will tell you that in every instance and in every story where Jesus is reaching out to people, he always leads with humility and compassion. And so for me, in my witness and my testimony to people, I always want to lead with humility and compassion. And I don't, like I said, I don't think that pointing out sin in other people's lives is the way to get them to want to hear your story. I think that if you want people to be present and to hear, you know, I mean, that's what scripture says over and over. Let those who have ears hear. Let them hear the story of the gospel. If you want them to take it seriously, nobody is going to take you seriously when you come at them with condemnation and when you come at them with you.
Not coming at them with condemnation.
God is beyond right and wrong.
Trying to address her.
The divine is beyond right and wrong. You're stuck in that. You're stuck in right and wrong.
No, I'm just telling people the truth, and people don't like the truth.
No, you're stuck in right and wrong.
Hi, moderators. This is Congressman. I'd like to be put in the queue. Thank you.
I conceded the same thing that Serendipity said, that Jesus will not, God will not accept the person who's an adulterer or a fornicator, a liar, or a murderer. All those people, including the homosexual.
That's wrong. You're about everything.
No, I'm telling people the truth.
You're not talking about what's right about it.
Jesus said the Pharisees are a den of vipers.
You are telling people the truth, but it's not what you say.
But
it's all
Jesus
in how
said,
you say it.
how did Jesus treat the money changers in the temple? Did it say that he got 2 pieces of leather and went and beat them out of the temple?
You need to learn how
most people who sin are not the money changers in the temple, Rich.
Yes, they are.
No, they're
They're
not.
all sinners. Sin is equal, Marshall.
Fine, they're all sinners, but here's the problem. You should, when you share the gospel, hope somebody picks it up and makes that their life.
Well, Jesus says only go to the people who have ears to hear
Hold on.
and eyes to
Basic
see.
sales goes, it doesn't work very well when you lead with condemnation. It's
Marshall,
not,
if they tell you to get off your
Rich,
lawn,
just let me finish, bro.
go ahead, Marshall.
He doesn't know how to do it.
If
You're straw manning me.
No, I'm not. I'm being honest. If you want anything other than your own self-aggrandizement because you told somebody they were doing something wrong, then you would look at how your words impact these people, because it's not just about you getting a kick off of telling somebody they're sinners.
It's not a kick-off of telling somebody that they're a sinner. It's coming with the good news. The first words out of Jesus' mouth in the New Testament is repent, for the kingdom of the Lord is at hand.
Yeah. So, Rich,
Hold on. Rich, I got to tell you, if this is the way that you approach talking to people about the good news, I would imagine you've probably stumbled more people than you've led to Christ. I would imagine that. In fact, I can't imagine that this wins anybody over. And I think that your understanding of the Bible is childish. And in all the wrong ways of being childish. Are you familiar with Matthew 7:2-5?
I'd have to read it. Can you say it?
Yeah. Judge others by the standard that.
You cut out.
Hi, Timok and Rich. I'd like to. I've been taking notes on my cell phone. I'd like to read to you some of the notes that I've written on my cell phone, if I may be put in the queue.
Did you catch all that, Rich?
No, you cut out for the whole time.
Okay, sorry. So listen. So Matthew 7:2-5. It's referring to you've got to judge people, but you too are going to be judged. It's a reminder that you have to have your house clean before you judge other people. Like the idea that
before you take the speck out of your brother's eye, take the log out of your eye, not being in hypocritical judgment.
So let me ask you this. Why are you not talking to people about the sins that you struggle with, and why do you want to focus on
times.
So why do you care about the sins that they struggle with?
I have multiple times. I've literally said that I can't. Right now, currently, frustration, anger, but I always ask God for forgiveness over it. That's pretty much it.
How many people do you think you've led to Christ?
How many people have I led to Christ? Probably about a half a dozen.
I got a question.
I would bet you've probably turned up at least twice.
I've got
Hey, Timok, before you do any questions, I'd like to get put in the queue. Thank you. Sorry, Timok. I'm just asking if I can be put in the queue.
This is the last one. Rich, what made you compelled to become a man of God, to follow Christianity? What compelled you?
Oh, I mean, the word of God.
Tell me the experience.
Mud sharks compared him to be
You gonna crash out, Monica? You gonna crash out?
I'm just enjoying the hypocrisy.
I mean, I think the irony, Rich.
Hold on 1 second, Monica.
Hey, Timok, before you ask any more questions, I feel like I'm just going to go ahead and start talking because you gentlemen are no gentlemen. You guys this is a runaround, circle loop you guys are doing. These are the notes I just wrote. This reminds me of a friendly and fun book club discussion. Let's all be at peace. Now and forever. I have listened with profound respect and conscious awareness, and I would like to use my time to share with you just 60 seconds of Bible flashcards. Before I share, take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. Release and say, I am a clubhouse flower. To the man who pleases him, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness. The Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. In your strength, I can crush an army. With my God, I can scale any wall. I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence comes my help. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain on your land in season and to bless all the work of your hands. Your Father knows the things you have need of before you ask him. Blessed is the man whom God corrects. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. Here's what I want you to do, Clubhouse brothers and sisters. Take your everyday, ordinary life. You're sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and using Clown House all day long, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for him.
Yeah, see, hold on, guys. You want me to respond to it? So what I was going to say is, this is why you don't respond to people like Congressman, because Congressman's not even I know exactly. Congressman is not even a Christian. He's a Taoist.
He's a goofball.
He's a Taoist. He's not even a Christian.
Can I ask just one question? I want to know.
Anybody can ask one question, just not Rich.
Yeah, I want to speak too. Put me in a queue.
Necro started all this.
There's no queue, Joe. But Congress, I just want to. You were reading a passage clearly when you said Acts. Was it AXE or was it ASK? I just want to know.
Well, that's rule number 11. You have to say Acts.
Oh, you have to say Acts? Oh.
Oh, right. Can I jump in real quick? I just have two sentences.
That's my question.
No, you're not quick. I'm speaking.
How long do you have time off for your question? It's going to be a long response.
I asked him a question.
Rich. I listened to you last night and know your answer. So let me finish. We are called to be disciples, to lead people to Christ, And if they want to come, that's their fucking business.
Exactly. And what do we do if they reject it?
Because, let me finish. You keep interrupting. Is that your mantra?
No, I was adding to what you're saying. I said, what do we do if someone rejects Christ?
Well, I'm going to finish, whether you like it or not. We lead people to Christ, whether they want to come or not. It's their business, because they have to love Christ and have a relationship with him. And I don't mean any horny horn dog kind of relationship. I mean, you love him or you don't, and you're a Christian. And if you don't embrace it, that's your life. When you go off and don't, you are weird.
You paused for a second. I thought you were done.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well,
Wait, hold on. We're gonna let Joby finish, and then I'm gonna speak, just so nobody feels like they need to jump in. I'm gonna speak after Joby. Joby, go.
Thank you. I'll be short and sweet. The question I always ask people, and you guys have heard it before: whose name do you call when you accidentally drive off a cliff? Because that's your savior. Whoever it is, if it's hell or shit, or most people say, "Oh Lord," and that's what I'm going to do. And if I see you in heaven, yay, hallelujah. And if I don't, I attempted to follow God's will by trying to be a good disciple. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I couldn't stand it.
No, this was great, Joby. Thank you.
You'll need me to help you more.
Hold on, I'm gonna jump in. Negro, you can't flirt with her right now. I gotta finish. So, Rich, when you confront people that are homosexual, what is it that you're hoping to get out of that?
I don't confront people that are homosexual. I confront people that are sinners, and I tell them all the things that God's commands that are sins, and states that are sins, and that we should turn away from all those things.
And what is your expectation in communicating that to somebody?
That the kingdom of the Lord is at hand, and repent.
Do you think there might be a better way to maybe get them to embrace Christ? Maybe read them some passages that maybe ask them questions about things that would make them feel good, and then talk to them about the love of Christ. Why wouldn't you leave?
You know, when Jesus returned back to his hometown, he was sitting there, he was declaring himself to be the God. They want to throw him off a ledge, and he doubled down and said, yes, I am your God. He told them very clearly that he is God. He is the anointed one, the Son of God. So he doubled down. So if people don't want to accept it, that's on them.
Jesus, silly.
Yeah, that was Jesus, and Jesus commands us to do everything in his name, the same as he done.
I have to tell you, if you guys really believe this shit, this is why Christianity is not growing at the same rate that pedophile death cults are getting their numbers. I'm going to be honest about this. Aside from the guy that goes to the fucking funerals, with the signs, I can't think of a worse messenger for Christ that I've ever met. I'm genuinely serious.
What's funny is when you actually look at those numbers of Islam and Christianity, Islam is only growing at the same rate, or if not faster, on the basis of birth rates. But then you have to look at the apostasies. You have to look at the apostates and realize that the majority of Muslims who move to the Western world are leaving Islam, just at the same rate as Christianity. And if you actually look at the projections by 2100, Christianity is still ahead. So,
there's a larger percentage of people on planet Earth that are non-religious than any time in human history in 2025.
This 4 billion followers of Jesus and his...
The reason why there's a lower percentage, the reason why the numbers are declining, is because people are turning away. There's a lot of things. There's some people are embracing science, some people just don't believe the truth claims, and then there's people that message this stuff where it sounds very hate-filled. I'll be honest, when I hear you talk about the Bible, it sounds to me like It sounds like one of the most unattractive things that I've ever heard. It sounds like a cult leader that's trying to shame people, and that you're looking for the weakest person that might hate themselves just enough to believe your bullshit.
But you would say that as a person who denies Christ.
First of all, I don't know how. Hold on. I don't know how old you are, Rich, but I would imagine that I've spent just as much fucking time in a church that you have. I would imagine that I've read the Bible just as much as you have. Hold on, listen. You reject the truth, and I'm going to tell you what you're rejecting. Yes, you do, because I'm going to tell you, everyone that I've ever met that inspired me, that made me think, like, oh shit, there's something to this. You know what they had in common? They had a genuine love in their heart that you could feel. You didn't even have to fucking hear it. They were the type of people that could walk up alongside you, put their arm on your shoulder, and they didn't have to say a fucking word. You just knew that there was a love that they were trying to communicate. There was none of that coming through with what you're saying.
Yeah, and a lot of the people that came up and made you think about Christianity also told you that all the things that you think are morally acceptable, probably they agreed with and said, you know what, yeah, you're right, we can have transgender pastors and all this kind of stuff.
No, hold on. Let me tell you something. Pastor Dan Larson he moved to Colombia to pray over a water so people could drink it without getting fucking cholera. This is a fucking guy that, like, he didn't sit in a clubhouse bitching at homosexuals.
Wait, why are you talking about a guy that prays on the weak? You literally just said you don't like the people who pray on the weak. 100,000 people in a crowd in Kenya gave their life to Christ and whatnot.
We're talking about a person that actually walked.
Well, you're saying he's praying on the weak.
You're on Clubhouse.
And you're atoning. You're talking about, you're testifying about a guy who prays on the weak. You said.
Crashing out.
No, I'm not. I'm calling you out.
Yes, you are.
It's not crashing out by calling you out, Ron.
You're crashing out.
You just said
you're constantly interrupting his room.
Then you say, oh, he goes into Africa and prays on the weak.
May I finish, fake Christian?
The most godly person you could testify to is one who you just said prays on the weak. See how that works?
I gotta tell you. First of all, yeah, hold on. Let me explain this. Pastor Dan Larson, this guy, he actually believed what he read, and he believed it so much that he fucking moved. He moved to Colombia to pray for people so they didn't die when they were drinking water. You know what? The best that you've got, the best that you. I don't know why you're unmuted, Joe. The best that you have is to come on Clubhouse and call out homosexuals. This is fucking weird. You're not leading with love. Like, honestly, I don't even believe you're a Christian. I genuinely don't believe you're a Christian.
He left the room or something?
I moved him down. If you moved him, tell that he's still down. This is the reason why I would never join a church again. Is people like him. You cannot expect people to join your fucking your God club if you're not gonna fucking lead with love. Like the idea that you're gonna just sit there and say, I'm just sharing the truth and you don't like the truth and you just reject God. I reject the God that you're representing. If God's manifestation in your life is to show no love, no light, no nothing, no positivity, then fuck your God. I want the God that shows love through me. Show me that God. I'll go to that.
Right. He fixates on this homosexual thing. I with all respect to him,
it sounds like rejection.
Yeah, I had a question if he has ever had those feelings for men, and is so disgusted by that within himself that he's fixated on other people, and maybe he would answer that question. Yeah. The other thing is when I had that supernatural experience, right? I got how powerful that was, how powerful it was, in that when you see a wall open up, and I wasn't on drugs or anything, it was so intentional, it was so powerful that there was nothing I've ever experienced anything near it, right? I realized that what's happening here, it's so tiny compared to what I experience, right? The power of what I experience. This is tiny. So whatever he's doing, he's just making what he's making his opinion bigger than God, his own personal opinion.
Yeah.
He's living an idea rather than living the words of God. He's living the idea in his head through his filter rather than through.
Yeah. Hold on.
He has the right to reply.
We can bring him up, but I just want to say this: that if this is the way that people are going to teach their religion and share it with other people, it's just going to continue to shrink. And if that's what's at the church that he attends, then I'm hoping that it shrinks. I'm hoping it just gets so small that it goes away. It's the craziest thing in the fucking world to join a religion that professes that God loves you and God wants a relationship with you and God wants you to share the good news. And then what you got the marching orders to was to go out and be like, hey, faggot, you're not going to heaven. I don't think that shit works, dude. I think it's gross. I think it's super fucking gross. And by the way, if somebody wants to hear my opinions on homosexuality, it's very simple. Consenting adults should be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And by the way, if the truth claims in the Bible are true, they're going to have to reconcile that themselves with God. They don't have to reconcile that with Rich. Rich, you're not the intermediary between somebody's salvation. And if you care about their fucking salvation, why wouldn't you do something that would get them to lean forward into Christ? Why would you do anything other than make them feel loved?
It seems like 3 or 4 people want to reply before we bring Rich up. You don't want to let that happen because he does tend to interrupt.
Yeah, perfect. I'm gonna default the expertise and moderation to the great Monica, who is, in my opinion, God's greatest.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, and I just want to say, it's just Rich, he has his built-in idea that people really hate God, people like myself, because we are critical of Christianity. But I think it's really, I wish people, if there was a creator of the universe, I don't know if there is a God, but I would like to think that, people to think better about that person if there were creator of the universe, because I highly think it's an insult to the creator of the universe that he would care about the pettiest shit, about two men sleep with each other or in what position they sleep with each other. God created this whole universe and he cares about the littlest shit. It seems pretty petty to me as a person who doesn't believe in God. And that just to me is you're meaning to tell me that, that's what the creator of the universe cares about. It seems pretty silly.
I think the very biggest mistake that he made was the most powerful way to incite change in anybody is by motivating an internal motivation. So there's the psychology genre for this is called motivational interviewing. We use it for substance abuse, for any type of addictions, and when you're trying to invoke change in somebody, the first thing you want to do is find that internal motivation, and that's the number one way to get somebody to make change. Not attack them, not say negative things, not say anything that would turn them away from you. You want to make an ally. So I think that if you're really trying to be a missionary and bring people to Christ, maybe look into motivational interviewing, because it's the best way to help people make change without feeling like you're just sending them to hell, because I wouldn't listen to that for 2 seconds. And I definitely believe in Christ, but the way that you speak about it so ick. Is ick appropriate? Yeah.
It is appropriate. I agree totally, and I think that's probably why he sounds like he comes off as a used car salesman. That's the level of sincerity that I got from his whole.
Okay, so let's do this stuff. We've shit on him, and we're gonna bring him back up. I don't think that. Look, if our critique of him is that he's not showing love, I don't think we're gonna do any better by not showing him love. I think we've made the point that we.
No, we're showing love, Roger. We're showing him love. That's what he's not.
Are we? Well. Here's what I would say. I genuinely hope that the God that he reads about touches his heart and changes the way that he approaches people. That's what I.
100%. 100%.
That's a really fire of a prayer. He's disinclined to join the stage. I think he's had enough of us, so we're gonna let him stay. He's been invited up, but he's disinclined.
But Monica, maybe he might answer that one question I asked him, which was, what was his experience and what compelled him to want to follow Jesus? What was it that happened to him? I was just curious about that. Was he willing to answer that?
Maybe answer in the chat.
So now he thinks that everyone on the stage is an atheist. It's amazing. Is there anybody on the stage that's an atheist? Anyone?
I'm agnostic.
So no atheists on the stage. Amazing.
I'm agnostic.
Dolly, have you seen your back channel lately?
No, Coco Pete.
Well, yeah, I like to.
Mojo, I talked to Io about game theory, and I don't understand it completely, but I am fascinated by the name. And he said he'd be willing to do a room replay discussing game theory. Would that be a good conversation for him?
Yeah, I love Eric. I think he's probably the smartest dude on the app, if we're being honest. Yeah, bring him. By the way, I have a lot of interest in that topic. Game theory is something that's pretty fascinating. The first thing that I would want to do is bifurcate the conversation into infinite game theory and finite game theory, because these game theories are quite different from each other. But yeah, we should bring him.
Okay, I'll let him know. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Mojo, I have a question for you.
Why don't you ask me?
Well, first of all, I want to compliment your new PTR. Every day it's getting better. And this is the question I want to ask you. Can you define the variables on Clubhouse in terms of word or communication game theory? Thank you.
Let me think about it. I don't want to just blurt out an answer.
For people on stage or in the audience who may not understand what I'm asking when I say a variable on this app, one could be your PTR. So how many more variables are there on this app? Thank you for consideration of the question I am asking.
Would you agree, Congressman Kitover, that the name Roger Mayhem and the PTR, the classic Roger Mayhem, had more to do with my, communication, connecting with larger groups of people than any of the ideas that I ever shared? Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's something to be said about the right name and the right PTR. I think bio is unimportant because you can have no bio, or you can have. Remember the old long bios? Do you guys remember those where people would tell you their life fucking story?
No, I feel called out.
Yeah.
That was crazy. People tell you every fucking trial and tribulation of their fucking life. It was amazing. A lot of people doxed themselves during that era. It was amazing. Monica, do you recall a room in which my microphone stopped working and I couldn't figure out if it was the app or my phone, and you helped me sort that out? Do you remember that?
Recently?
No, this was a long time ago. This was years ago. No?
I'm gonna trust your memory.
Okay. Anyways, the microphone was not working. Actually, I'll back channel you the relevance of why I'm bringing it up. I just thought that... Never mind. I won't mention the rest of it. I'll back channel.
Oh my gosh, what a cliffhanger.
Oh no.
You know, can I just say something about a former speaker that, you know, this app and listening to conversations.
You mean Rich?
Yes.
You mean Rich?
Yes, listening to people have uncomfortable conversations makes me physically and emotionally uncomfortable. And so when I open up my Bible flashcards and I read them, I am forcing a positive neurolinguistic program through my system straight to you through a social audio app. And I'm just saying that the power to choose that versus having heated conversations which solve nothing other than create emotional turmoil, to me, is a lack of wisdom. But that's my opinion, and I'm just asking you if you think you might agree.
Well, let me ask you this. Were you convinced that of the love of Jesus when Rich was harping on homosexuality? Did that bring you closer to Christ?
Well, no, because he is just another guy on a social audio chat app giving his opinion. I know if I want the source, all I have to do is go to the material and contemplate it myself. And, you know, it's not... See, people's opinions here are not true. Silence is a far greater truth than anybody's opinion words that they, you know, information exchange on this app.
Yeah, bars.
Oh, I was just called a Nazi in the back channel.
By who?
She's always recognizes these funny things, but
Monica's always catching heat everywhere.
Oh, y'all, I was just called a Nazi in the back channel. Oh, y'all, somebody called me racist. It's okay, it's only Rich, you know, the Christian.
So let me
Why
ask...
did he think that you were being a Nazi? What was his evidence of you being a Nazi?
I oppressed him. I moved him down so people could talk.
You invited him up and he declined.
I did.
and did Jesus ever called you a Nazi?
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
I would just like to reiterate that Jesus lovers are sinners too.
True.
Yeah.
You know, I was accused of being a Taoist by Rich, and I'm just asking, are there Christians here who think that Jesus also may have been a Taoist?
Or a Buddhist. It's funny about those life after death, right? And they come back. The ones that come back. And so many times when they talk, when they experience their experiences, for the most part, they run into either loved ones from the past that have passed on, or they run into angels or ones that are to explain some things and answer questions. And they've said plenty of times that they felt a love so much so that they didn't want to come back. They felt so much love that they didn't want to come back. And that one person I heard, he said that the love he experienced isn't on earth. So as a goal, right, one might have themselves to develop that love within themselves to impress upon on others that they've never experienced that love before. That would be an amazing goal for Rich.
Well, I just want to ask one more question about, is there a purpose to this room tonight? And I'm looking at the title now. It says, "What is the key to happiness?" And to me, reading is truly far more joyful than listening to heated conversations on a social audio chat app. But I'm just asking, if you agree, because that's my opinion.
I want to read to you a chat GPT response. I had asked, what would Jesus say about people condemning homosexuals as they're leading
brilliant.
to a conversation? And what ChatGPT says is that challenge sin after a connection is made. You should lead with relationship and dignity rather than condemnation. And then it references John 4, Samaritan woman at the well, and Luke 19, Zacharias. And then it says that you don't want to drive the person away. Pretty much the same thing I just told Rich. And then it references John 8:10 through 11, where it says, "Woman caught in adultery, neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin." So it very specifically says that you should not condemn them. Even if you are going to point out their sin, it shouldn't be in condemnation. It should just be an FYI.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I also took the time to ask into Grok, did Jesus say anything about homosexuality? And they say that the New Testament doesn't record any direct statements from Jesus specifically addressing homosexuality.
Correct. He only, I actually put that in the chat to you, Nico, too, that you were right about that. Paul is the one that addressed sexual immorality. Jesus Christ, in fact, the only thing he condemned was adultery. I don't know, like I said, Jesus lovers are sinners too, and you see Rick's response a lot, particularly on this app. Even in the Christian rooms, you go in there and they can be a little, well, let's just say they don't lead with humility and compassion, which I think if you want to make a connection with somebody, if you want to make an impression with somebody, you do have to establish that relationship first. You have to meet them where they're at. That's what Jesus did time and time again. He went and met them where they were at. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was gonna say it earlier, but like to me, like I've said before, it's like my main issue is like, people who want to like legislate law against, the rights of, gay people. I mean, if people are personally against gay marriage, I mean, that's just a personal opinion, and no, if there's anything to do about personal opinion, but who gives a shit in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, that's really to me is the issue mainly is because you have. It's one of the things, like I said, conservatives, the main issue I have is not the issues that, are mostly the ones where they go against their own idea of choice and of freedom. And when it comes to things like, gay marriage, or when it comes to things like just any other issue that has to do with, personal choice, they try to impose their own morality, and that's when they really begin to lose me. So.
I put in the chat, joy is now. If you want to push it on social audio app, you are wasting your precious energy and personal joy of being in your now. Then I wrote, the problem with this app is the speakers think they can speak for Jesus, and the conflict or debate is a linguistic one up. Truth would be silence and prayer or asking Jesus for wisdom from his source book.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting though. It's like the only reason I talk about why, Jesus said is because the objection that people make in regards to, things like gay marriage is, talking about what Jesus said. And Jesus was way more explicit about divorce and about greed than he was about gay marriage. And yet, divorce, I mean, the Bible Belt is also called the divorce belt, but people are not as concerned about, getting rid of divorce for people who are abusing it as they are about gay marriage. And that's the only reason why I bring it up, usually.
Do you think there's a problem with people wanting to have, contiguous conversation where if your last word is gay, do you think it forces the conversation down a road which unfortunately can't be stopped because people are, mimetically connected, linguistically connected to essentially have no juxtaposition or, stoppage in the flow of the thought? And if you do that, you're considered, rude or a bad or, less than eloquent speaker.
Sorry.
Where did Monica go?
I think you
Probably to talk to Rich.
I think you're chasing her off with all your flattery.
Roger. Roger, you sound like a 16-year-old.
Roger, in a room a couple weeks ago, you let slip a secret about, a game you're playing on this app with regards to Monica. I'm just wondering how many people in this room are aware of that game rule.
It's not exactly a game, but I've told her very directly that it's very fun to have her in the room because she brings a quality that I don't know. Some people like to say that I think she's misunderstood. People like to critique her, and it's easy to gather the haters. And so yes, she's well aware, by the way, of the fact that I find value in multiple ways of having her in the room.
The rule or the trick that you said you're playing on everybody or the game that you're playing, and now this is not a negative game you're playing, so I don't want to concern anyone in the room. What I'm just saying is that game you're playing, if you were to do that game with everybody, it would yield tremendous results for you personally. Don't you agree? Instead, most people are in terrible conflict with people all the time. Road ragers.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think we should be reaching out to more people on this app, pulling them into the conversation, and trying to have more genuine conversations. I know that you believe that these conversations are a waste of time, but I think there's something that's happening here that we can't really put our finger on. Maybe it's going to pay dividends later. I feel like this app is changing our hearts and our minds. You probably disagree with me.
No, I do believe in a herd psychology on this app, and conditioning is very powerful on this app. When I created the alternative Mojo account or alternative Roger Mayhem account, the conditioning and the response to my presence, was so much fun. So I'm just saying on here you have conditioned people, but on X and other platforms they have yet to have experienced the Mojo experience or the Mojo conditioning.
Yeah, maybe we should expand this stuff too. I want to start doing rooms at the same time that Gary Bumgarner does his rooms, and we'll come up with a name that's the opposite of the critical thinking forum, but we'll just have a little bit of a flavor, and we'll just topic.
Yeah, I think it's interesting though. The main reason I put family as the answer is because having a good mother is a good key to happiness. So.
Well, a lot of people who do not have good mothers or have had terrible conflict with their mothers, my mother has had terrible conflict with her mother, but, to me, if you don't use books to essentially rationalize and, transcend above a lot of like conditioning or, inappropriate behavior or abuse, things like that, to me, that's the superior way to essentially, improve your life and recondition yourself, for joy and success and health and wealth and love.
But John, what do you think of the argument that some people are afraid to read because it might change their mind and they don't want it changed?
Well, see, if we were to compare that attitude to the average speaker on this app, I was talking to El Normo a couple days ago, and I've thought this before that, the demonstration that I made of reading those Bible flashcards is me showing you, not telling you. And a lot of people are just tellers, they're not showers. So it is a little subjective objective where your interpretation is going to conflict with my interpretation or my understanding and comprehension. And we use terms.
So what do you mean you were showing? You were speaking. What do you mean you were showing?
So I could send you the video of me reading that. It's a clip on YouTube. So it's a program. It is a linguistic condition, of wisdom. The point is wisdom is supreme. So if you communicate wisdom and even if you force it, it's still better than having endless conversations and heated debates on a social audio chat app. It's just obvious. It's books. It's the book club.
Didn't answer my question.
Well, I'm trying to show you basically A versus B. And you may not think I answered your question. That's because you just didn't enjoy my response. But that's, not a me problem.
No, not at all. That's not what it is. When you show somebody, right? Okay. So.
What I'm trying to say is Rich, the best. I texted him. He texts me and calls me. He called me maybe 10 times yesterday. He just, he's the dopamine creation from this medical device technology company known as
Wait till he
Clonehouse.
calls you about what happened today.
Well, no, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that, some people can't let it go, but if you were to just read Bible flashcards, it resolves all conflicts. To come on here and have nonstop conflicts is not good usage of your brain. It's not smart, it's not intelligent, it's not wise.
Well, we agree about that.
I have been.
Since it's the title of the room, can I share some love of Jesus?
Oh, do so.
Please do. You shared your other type of love last night.
Right. It's going to seem very oxymoronic. Okay, so I was a Christian. I was raised in a Christian home from birth. I went to a private school. And faith I had a very childlike faith. It came very, very easy for me. Call it the influence of my parents, my church, whatever. It just came very, very easy for me. And I was very content to have my happy little relationship with Jesus and know all my childhood Bible stories and sing my hymns on Sundays. Pretty much throughout my entire childhood into my early adult life. And back in 2004, my sister lost her husband and her 3-year-old son and her 8-month-old daughter in a car accident. And I was very, very angry. It was my first crisis in faith. I was really, really ticked off at God. I couldn't understand how he could take her every reason for living away from her. I feared that she committed suicide, like all the worst things in the world. And I can remember being at the funeral, and the pastor from our church came to pay his respects. And, he comes up and he gives me the hug, and, if there's anything we can do for you guys, please let us know, blah, blah, blah. And when he hugged me, I whispered into his ear, I said, look at that coffin. I said, you look at that man holding 2 babies, and you tell me how a merciful God could do something like this. I was really angry. And a little while later, they put us in this little holding room before they walked the family out for the funeral procession. And I just remember thinking, I got to get my sister through this day, and then just one day at a time. I was really, really scared for her. And I remember they brought my sister in to that room right before they were going to walk us out. And I walked across that room thinking, I just got to hold her up. I just got to get her through this day, And I went over there and I put my arm around her. And the Bible has a verse about a peace that surpasses all understanding. And I would never be able to articulate this in a way that you could understand. But in that instant, I physically felt the presence of the Holy Spirit wrapped around us. And after spending 7 days furious at God and questioning everything, I just knew that we were going to be okay. I didn't know how, but I knew that we were going to be okay. I physically felt his presence, and I know that sounds crazy, and I know that this is anecdotal. This isn't for the purposes of persuading anybody, but here's the thing. It always stuck with me. You don't experience something like that and it not this profoundly change you. And it did profoundly change me. I suddenly became a reader and a studier of the Word and just wanting to understand everything in the Bible. And then 20 years later, I wake up one Sunday morning and I hear a nebulizer in the bathroom going, and the light's on, and my husband's not in bed, and I go to open that bathroom door, and literally the instant before I turned that doorknob and opened that door, I felt that same presence, and without having any, my husband was not sick. He died from an asthma attack. But I knew before I opened that door that my husband was gone. And fair enough, he was, but it was the exact same physical presence and just, I've got you, and this is going to be okay. And I knew, so that's what the love of Jesus means, is when you are not strong enough to carry on, when you are not capable of carrying those burdens anymore, he's there to take them for you. I share my little story.
That was.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I'm so happy for you, Sarah W. I'm so happy for you. That's yeah, right? That you can get through all that and have that real for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can face anything, Good, you want to say something just really badly right now?
No, you can finish. I just, I'll let you look at this. No, mine is different from what you guys are talking about, so.
It's hard. Look, it's yeah, because what she said, look, until you experience something that can appear at face value so tragic, right?
These things could happen to any of us, right? So for her to have that, her heart being able to be touched that way, to keep her moving through life with that knowingness is really special, man. It's something.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I posted in the chat a video of, it was an old video, I always remember. It was a minister who punched a kid for Jesus, and it's just so hilarious, him being proud to punch a kid. And I, yeah, it's just funny because he literally says to the kid after he punched him, what was going on? And he said he wanted to.
He went to Rich's.
I do want to ask a question about homosexuality, if I may, Mr. Mojo. Serendipity, if you could field this question as moderator. It's my belief and opinion that the crucifix symbolically represents a horizontal line and a vertical line. The vertical line would represent what we call the phallus, or maybe the Holy Spirit, or man, and the horizontal line might be represented as a woman. So it would be two genders, man and woman. That's the symbolic, metaphoric opinion that I have about the crucifix. So I'm just asking, if the Bible says, two men having sexual relations is frowned upon, do you think it is the destruction of that beautiful crucifix?
No.
See what she, John, see what she expressed, right? There's no logic there. That's the supernatural.
No, that's occult symbolism. It's metaphor.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm wrong when I say it's my opinion that it's a metaphor, but I'm just saying that if you break that sacred symbol by having same-sex relations, metaphorically, maybe astrologically, numerically, you are violating what you might call a natural law.
But that's what I was talking about, Rich. That's all in your idea of what it is. That's your idea of what it is. Serendipity actually experienced something supernatural, something God, Jesus, right? She experienced that. That's not an idea. It's beyond logic.
Well, the thing about Jesus is, did he have an unfair advantage? And the question that I ask you is, do you have an unfair advantage?
It's a choice, right? It's a choice to have an unfair advantage. But you have to first become that.
It's always a choice. I mean, every circumstance that life throws at you, the only thing you have control over is how you're going to choose to respond to it.
Yes. No, it's like the best. You have guys like Ray Comfort who say that I have a choice as to whether I accept the data as evidence that God is real.
I'd say, Serendipity, that you became something big before Jesus showed up, or you follow me, like, or the first event propelled you into a different way of looking at life, and that made you open for that. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know, you don't go through that kind of grief and it not have a profound impact on how you look at life, And honestly, like, losing my husband all those years later, that was a whole nother kind of grief. It was very different from the first time around. But, I mean, I learned some important things, I watched my sister struggle with alcoholism for a little while. And so, my husband and I, we were never really big drinkers. Kind of like independent drinkers, I guess. New Year's, 4th of July, that kind of thing. But we were never, we didn't drink a whole lot. But I saw my sister prey to alcoholism, and so like I just made that conscientious choice. I was like, the night of the session, I'm going to get white girl wasted, and then I'm not going to drink for the first year. And I didn't, because at the time I had a 12-year-old little girl who was still at home, and she was watching me to figure out how to navigate this grief. And I didn't want the loss of her daddy, who was her favorite person in the whole wide world, to be a crutch or a reason why it didn't go after what she wanted, because he would have never wanted that for her. So, I had to make a lot of choices about how I was going to choose to respond to it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely more hope than I could have offered a few years ago, where it's like, because, I couldn't offer much hope to the religious, like when they asked me, what do I believe happens when you die? Because I just simply would say, you rot, become fertilizer.
So I'd just like to point the room to the Attention Happiness Survey. What is the key to happiness? Is it your health? Is it your wealth? Is it your family? Or is nobody really happy? We have 34% believe that health. Family is number one at 38%. Health again, 34. Nobody's really happy at 23, and wealth at 7. If you're a new speaker in the room and you want to come up in the muff and come learn the love of Jesus.
Yeah. I wonder, like, when, Mojo, when you say nobody's really happy, if you mean it the same way, like, when you say that altruism really doesn't exist, like, the appearance of it does, but, like...
Look, it's fleeting. It's temporary. There's a reason why we say, pursuit of happiness. If you caught it, you wouldn't know what to do with it.
See, Necro, I think that, I met this really hot attorney once, and she's sitting in my car, and she's telling me about her work problems, and she says, I feel like the problem is people ask questions. And I thought that was so funny and so profound, because I'm pretty sure she kind of knew what, like, I know, meaning that all the anxiety in the world isn't going to change the future, but the now is all important. So, there was something else I was going to tell you, but anyways, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, it kind of reminds me of when my boss told me, didn't anybody ever tell you, he's like, questions are a danger to you and a burden to others.
Wait, what did he say?
He said, questions are a danger to you and a burden to others.
So if family is number one, the Hebrew term is Elohim, which is divine family. So, it's not just Jesus, right? Supposedly God the Father, the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. Mojo, let me ask you a question. Do you think that the universe, and I'm talking about the infinite universe, is that technically almost like a machine or some type of God, you might say? Does it take the whole thing to have Earth and this cell phone conversation right now? Is it all one? And is that not the true definition of God, which is ONE?
It's an interesting question, and I don't fucking know the answer. I don't think anybody does, but what I'm leaning towards, I can't prove this, but what seems compelling, or at least I like hearing about, is the idea that not only is the universe expanding, like, so you have the Big Bang and then it expands, but then after it expands to a certain point, then it's going to bounce back, and it's going to come back, and then it's going to come in tight, and then it'll be another Big Bang. I think that there's a cyclical nature of the universe. This is what I believe. I genuinely believe this. I have nothing more than just the arguments that I've heard made for this resonate with me. It sounds the most plausible that that matter explodes, and then the universe expands, and then it reaches its limit, and then it races back and pulls all back together, all matter, and then you have another Big Bang, and you repeat, rinse and repeat.
Don't you think it's interesting that when we communicate and discuss the Big Bang, many of these terms are sexual? I'm just saying there's no coincidences.
Yeah, it's all one. All we need.
So isn't like Neo, from the Matrix, basically that's the one. So if Jesus is, the Neo, I mean, these conversations have been happening on Clown House for so long, but they're not new. A lot of this philosophical, esoteric, psychedelic consciousness was settled in the 60s and the 70s. I mean, I've listened to countless Timothy Leary lectures, countless Alan Watts lectures. And India, this is the basis of the religion, basically the Big Bang, the Kali Yuga. So America's not unique in its religious philosophy, but in the Constitution, it does say in the year of our Lord. So they were Christians. I mean, Jesus was their guy. All I'm saying is there's a lot of different Jesuses throughout history. Osiris. All these things are like history regurgitated. And if you build up a library and you read a couple books, you're like, maybe it's not logical or wise for me to get in heated conversations about, wise men, wise women, wisdom, intelligence, knowledge, comprehension. I mean, just eat the meal. Read the book. But I mean, to waste your time, you know, as a listener, it is so uncomfortable to process this stuff and it's exhausting. And if you are the speaker distributing this exhausting conversation, it's got to be exhausting for you too. So it's not a one up, it's not strategic, it's not wise. That's all I'm saying.
We need another poll, Mojo. No, I'm going to post something. It is a new house that is forming that you guys are going to be very excited about.
The kind of poll I've seen in religious rooms is whether the world would be better if more people acted more like Jesus. Because I would like to know what people's reasoning would be, why they would disagree with that.
Well, if they're acting anything like Rich, Raj, you think if he woke up tomorrow, you think he'd wake up as a different person? What do you think is? He'd wake up and come in and, you guys were right. I'm so sorry. You think that's a possibility?
I just want to say hi to Don.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Hi, Nicole. Rod, Gibbs. Everybody, hello.
So, in Hebrew, ruach is breath, and in Latin, it's spiritus. In Hindu or Sanskrit, it's pranayana. So, to me, if you want the breath of life or the Holy Spirit, you gotta breathe. And guess what happens if you stop breathing?
He's another guy that might be good to have a YouTube channel. He's got a lot to talk about. You think about getting a YouTube channel, my friend? Congress?
The only reason I would think to go back on the YouTube channel, I'm the guy.
Well, I was talking to Congressman now, but that's okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll let you. I believe he has a YouTube channel.
Necker, why would you think that he was talking to you when he specifically called somebody else out by name?
I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. So, anyways.
Multitasking. Oh, you already got a YouTube channel, huh? Congress channel?
Yeah, I've been filming Clown House for close to 6 years, and if you just go through my shorts, you will see so many Clown House conversations that it's unbelievable how I've been able to transfer Clown House directly into YouTube, and the accounts are growing, and it's just fascinating, you know, because I can only stay for like a couple seconds when I watch one of these clips of a YouTube clip of Clown House Room, but the amount that I have put up is truly mind-boggling.
How many?
It's over 20,000.
Wow.
Across YouTube and Instagram. On YouTube, I think it's like near 10,000 plus, and you know, Instagram is close to 10,000 too.
How about, well, here's the question. How many followers do you have on subscribers?
I think like 2,000 across all the accounts.
You need to work on that. You need to work on that.
Oh, I'm working on it right now. Go to my profile, and then you can get my YouTube link to watch my YouTube account, and you can see Clown House in a retrospective recap. I'm a filmmaker. And
you're right here. You're right.
I am projecting a future deal with Netflix after having spoken with the beautiful Abby, the world famous Sheldon Adelson lawyer from The Venetian. I hate to spread that gossip, but it's true. And you know, she has introduced me to a Netflix executive who knew Adams. Anyways, I'm just kidding around, but yeah, that's my YouTube account. You're all on it. Every single one of you. America down there, Randy, Wallace even. Wallace barely speaks. Wallace is one of the best listeners on this app. You know, we have had an awards ceremony, but I'm just wondering, like, if anybody that you know on this app has impressed you with their listening skills.
Alright, get ready for the link.
I just want to ask if anybody watched the video that I put in the link.
What was it?
It was the one about the pastor boasting that he punched a kid and led him to the Lord.
Okay, so I just posted a link above. This is the Rational Discussion Group. It's gonna have rooms at the same time as the Critical Thinking Forum, and we'll use the same room titles that they use. Same time, and yeah, we'll just we're just gonna basically recreate this, and without creating a you will not have to download Facebook.
Yay!
Can we also do like a segment in the Rational Discussion Group where we actually, cross-stream Gary's room? Just not the whole thing, but I'm just saying, like, can we do, snippets where as the super mod and you have sole editorial and, producer, etc., directed, can you say, I'm just saying, can you think, like, every 15 minutes, let's do a Gary Baumgarten, love bomb for like 60 seconds?
No, I don't think we're going to do that, but what we might be able to do is get a recording of the same topic, like give you like the best 5 minutes of his room, and then do like a recap show at the end of the week that does a comparative analysis of which room is better. But this room is going to be very serious. I just want to caution you, I'm not even going to be the lead moderator in here. Necro, you have to mute your mic. Weirdo. Jesus. This is going to be Anson and Steve Weed. These are kind of exiles that don't get treated properly in Gary's room, and so they don't like the fact that the Trump bashing, the constant Trump bashing. So Anson, who is a very, very interesting fellow, he is going to lead these discussions. He's going to assume the Gary role, and I'm going to leave full creative control in Anson's hands. I'm just going to simply be there to kind of help co-host and co-promote. I will defer to his wisdom and let him run the room.
That'll be fun. Looking forward to it. I think he's a great speaker.
Yeah, and the fact that he's so agitated with the other room, it's going to be perfect.
Well, there are clicks on this app, and having had many accounts blocked and deleted because of some of these clicks, I just think that one of the reasons why they may dislike my presence or my activities so much is because my recordings, I think, in a way, document a tendency which is not complimentary. It's not positive, and I think I can prove it by asking them, if time travel was possible, was it worth it? And in hindsight, in retrospect, opportunity cost analysis, I think they would have to agree with my, prognosis, my analysis. It's just my opinion, but if all communication is projection, and I'm reverse engineering over here with my projection right now, I mean, it could be correct. It's just a hypothesis, though, and my opinion.
So, Congressman Kitover, if you had the ability to utilize software to go through all of these hours of recordings that you have and told it to sort by user and create a best of and a worst of for each user, just like maybe like a 4-minute clip of the best of, who do you think would be the most embarrassed to hear their worst of clip?
I could just give you a list of like the top 10 power users on here who I think would be very embarrassed with their demeanor, their tone, their just personality, and whether or not what they're saying is substantial or actually qualitative or no quantitative type of analysis, and what they say. And I hate to say it, but there are some, I mean, I could give you a list of the top 10 offenders that if you were to sit there and listen to that, this is to me, because I have listened to so much of this, I think I have to like retreat into deep meditation, because 5 years of recording, like I've really implanted it in my brain, and I feel like that's kind of a cop out, but
So who are some people that if it got out there, if let's just say it went viral and you had hundreds of millions of people viewing it, who would be the most embarrassed to hearing their own takes widely distributed?
You're the devil, Ross.
maybe it's best that I not say anyone, because I have recorded so much. It's up to you, the fan, the critic of my work, to actually go to my YouTube and maybe spend 30 minutes looking at it, because if you don't go to youtube.com/@John_Kitover_Congressman and at least try to find yourself, you're missing out on the fun. I have done a lot of work for you, and Mojo here has confirmed that this valuable service at no cost to you will give you maybe even more dopamine than what you get here.
John, how long? When did you get on the app? Were you in the beginning?
Yeah, I think November or December of 2019.
Wow. Yeah, I was right there, right after you. Wow.
Do you mean 2020?
No, 2019.
Started.
No, he was one, the early one.
Well, hold on, but in 2019 November, it wasn't even Clubhouse. It was Talk Desk.
Well, I know my best memory of this time
Talk show
is March of 2020, because of the pandemic, and they shut down all the bars in Chicago on St. Patty's Day. And I'm pretty sure before that I was using it, going into like December of that winter, because I bought a building in December of 2019. And when I got into this building, even prior to that, in my old apartment, my friend Todd, who got me on this app, who owns marijuanadelivery.com, because I sold him marijuanabusiness.com, that was my invite, and he was like, "You got to get on here." I'm literally talking to Elon Musk. I'm listening to Elon Musk. It was like, oh my god. So he sent me the invite. First, there was a problem with getting that invite from him. Anyways, I'm pretty sure This is like an EOD or a start
I
date.
think you're talking about 2020 though, because the Elon appearance was right around the end of 2020.
Yeah, it was in 2020.
Well, when did the
I think you're
pandemic?
a year off.
Did the?
Well, so it depends on what you mean by when was the pandemic.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah.
So the lockdowns started coming, during 2020.
Yeah, you're right.
But they were, yeah. But anyways, it would be impressive if you were on here in 2019. It's not that it didn't exist; it just didn't exist as Clubhouse. It was talk show.
So, John, you found how about this character that got, what do you call it, that black mark one? When you got that warning plenty of times. Name the top 3 people that got. What was that black thing that they used to get when they get warnings from Clubhouse? What was that? Like a black mark, right?
The black badge.
Black badge.
Yeah.
That basically meant that 5 people that you were following have that person blocked.
Right. Well, there were. Roger, did you have that? Roger, you have that.
It's unique to the person. So a black badge isn't just visible to anyone. It was specific to the people that you follow. If a minimum of 5 of the people that you follow have somebody blocked, then when you go to that person's profile, it would show you the black badge. It might show somebody else not the black badge because the people they're following might not have it blocked.
But it wasn't there. Wasn't Clubhouse giving something like that as a warning? It wasn't just the followers. It was that you got a warning. I'm not saying you specifically, but someone on Clubhouse would get that directly.
No, the black badge was simply a signal giving you a social clue that your friends are saying that this person is bad.
Because this guy, you remember the guy, right? He had that business room with all the freaks in there, claiming this and that.
JT Fox or TJ Cards?
Yeah, that guy. So Congressman John, you got a lot of clips of that guy, right? Because he with.
No, I don't have any clips of JT Fox when he was on this app.
I knew it. I knew you wouldn't have. For some reason,
See, I've upgraded my filming techniques to use like a lot of tripods, and this is actually more new than compared to what I was doing, was just filming myself interacting with Clownhouse. Now I'm actually filming the screen on a primary cell phone, using an anonymous account, talking to you on a different account. So like my streaming technique has significantly been upgraded and improved. And today I filmed Politically Correct for, 8 hours. Then I filmed Amir's room for a couple hours. Then I'm in here filming. So it's like, this is a lot of fun. But the time that I spent reading the Constitution yesterday across 12 different phones and uploading 120 videos that got 10,000 views, that to me was more personally beneficial than listening to people argue on here about, and die on a hill over some topic.
And I think Mojo has a point, and the success of you getting more followers, right? He was saying, get the clips, the top 3 or something like this, right? Right, Roger, I think that's more appealing, because when you start to speak about these 20,000, nobody's going to go and listen to all those. So I think you need to find a way.
Well, I don't think what he needs to do is anything. I think he's already done the service of recording all this. I think someone else should take on a passion project to do something with it and make it actionable and more sortable.
That's what I mean, exactly. What do you think of that? Right, Congressman? You need to try.
Well, I've spent the past 48 hours fully updating every single YouTube profile. There's over 30 YouTube profiles now that are filming and publishing regularly Clubhouse videos. Many videos after you live stream go to private, so you have to build up a queue and then mass change visibility from private to public. And then I have to add those videos to playlists, and then I have to update the description. So none of the titles are dynamic. If you went into every video and looked who the main primary speakers were and put that in a title, you could build a better searchable, index in YouTube. People can file privacy complaints against my work, and if I don't, I have to delete it. Like YouTube has basically a 0% tolerance policy for complaints. And I've had many YouTube accounts get deleted with thousands of videos and years of work. That is very demoralizing. But you know, in every war, you lose a pawn. So it is a fun game, but I do think this is just like a linguistic game, and you're all involved in it. You know, whether you know it or not.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying, Roger. What I'm finding someone to make a passion project to make these clips. Not everyone, but the top whatever 20, 30, 40. More likely that people will want to click on it. What do you think of that?
To me, the quality sucks. Like, I'm looking at, you know, 15 phones filming this room right now, and it's like, if I was on the receiving end of my live stream, and right now I see no one from this room is actually looking at my live stream, you could give me real-time feedback, but most people don't live in the now.
Yeah, I think that what is needed is somebody that could go through the archives of video with software that can and then go like just you got to know what you're looking for, and like let's say you just came up with, let's say you want to start with one person, that way you can prove it out. You could just say, okay, I'm gonna use the software, I'm gonna go through all these videos and I'm gonna find the clips of when this person's speaking, and then find, you know, sort it by topic maybe, or just go find the interesting moment, and then you can do like a best of type of video, and then once you did it for one, you could start building, then you do another one, get it up to like, let's say a top 10, and then you can have, you know, videos of like the Clubhouse top 10, and then the best of, and then boom, 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 and then
Monica's greatest hits.
Yeah, correct. Or I would say Monica's greatest hits, but
See, I don't know if you've interacted with my profiles enough. Like, you're gonna have to spend time and go through all my YouTubes, because every YouTube's a little different.
Nobody has time for that.
Well, see, this is the thing.
John, what I'm saying is, I want AI to come through with you give a prompt for what it wants to look for.
So,
and then.
Well, see, anyways, I'm just saying this is like a short-term dopamine solution. I'm not saying that this is some kind of long-term venture, or this is just mere entertainment for short-term fun. So what I'm trying to say is, in YouTube, you know, the way that I use it is I create shorts, which are either 15 seconds or 3 minutes. Those are generally heated conversations when I'm sitting here monitoring and then creating a short. Those are highly edited already. And then the other thing is, when you are live streaming, you can hit what's called a cut. That gives you either a 45-second or a 5-minute cut from the past 5 minutes. I usually cut a lot of rooms after the heated conversation dies down, because it does flow like a pattern, and there are peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys. And so I'm pretty mindful when I'm here, like, okay, that was a good cut, that was a good cut. And I go across all the phones and create the cuts. So there's so many videos. It's like 10,000, 20,000 videos on YouTube.
So why haven't you turned this into, I mean, what's the end game? Is it a Clubhouse series with various seasons?
No, I am running for Congress. So all publicity is good publicity and communication, meaning that I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm creating a media business on top of trying to get into Congress. So it's all connected, but the thing is,
But wait, how is Clubhouse connected to your campaign and your political?
because you're Americans talking about bullshit. You know, as a leader or a congressperson, you got to have intelligence. And this app proves that there's no intelligence on this app. And so, you know what that indicates? That indicates that probably 80% of Congress is completely incompetent, and there's no real intelligence there or patriotism. Now, you may think patriotism is a mental health disorder to a Democrat or a communist or an anarchist, but to a patriot, you know, the Tao Te Ching says that patriots will rise up in times of emergency. If you don't think $1 trillion in interest annually and, you know, spending $20 billion an hour is insanity, you need to understand optimization and economics. And, you know, Mojo here is an enthusiast of the Mises Institute and other brilliant economists who understand that you can't have a black card and just keep charging it up and, you know, as if reality doesn't exist. So, and plus, oof, there's just a big moral and ethical and DEI problem across. Have you seen some of the judges, that are being relieved of? Anyways, I'm just saying, clown world is real, and I'm sick of it. I am complete.
We have a new title for the room. By the way, if you guys haven't joined the Rational Discussion group, the link is up above. Thank you. The Rational Discussion group should not be confused with the Critical Thinking Forum.
What do you think is more fun, having news debates and news conversations, or just having non-news debates and conversations, and you know,
I think the debates with people like that are trying to really sell you on the idea of anarchy are fun. I think when somebody takes a really wacky position and they just dig in and they just refuse to yield, no matter how silly they sound, I think those are the funnest conversations.
Yeah, I tried to join the house, but for some reason I can't join.
Do you have anyone in mind, Raj?
What do you mean?
Well, it's like you were thinking about someone while you were talking about that. I
was just kind of throwing it out there. If that caused you to picture somebody in your mind, that's a you thing, not a me thing. So, Necro, what's the message you got when you tried to join?
It just says, like, it's a red bar up on the top of the screen. It just says you can't join this house.
That usually means you have an admin that has them blocked.
Oh, that means either Anson or Steve Wee have you blocked.
You can unadmin add to the house and then re-admin them.
What did I do to piss those people off?
I don't know. Probably your insistence on older women probably creeped them out.
Me and my weird fantasies.
For Steve to block you, you must be a douche.
I mean, Steve gave me Casa de Appel literally today. He gave me, he gave me power there, so.
Oh, it's you? You're a block, Necro?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh my god. Oh, you're not a douche.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Casa de Appel, he gave me the golden key to his house today, so I'd be surprised if he has me blocked.
Well, you've got the wrong Steve. I'm referring to Steve Wee. You're referring to Steve Appel.
Gotcha.
Try now to join because I've removed them as admins. Let's just test this to see if it works.
Yeah, I'm still getting the can't join the house.
That's weird.
Necro, log out and come back in and then try to join it to reset it.
Hi, moderators. I think I can maybe help answer this question you have in your title, but I would like to answer it by reading a quick little poem I wrote on my phone.
Yeah, it's still getting the same message.
Was he thrown out of the house?
It's a brand new house.
Congressman.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is a brand new house, right, Roger?
Yep, it's brand new.
Yep,
Yeah, he just made it.
It's brand new.
Yep.
Do you guys like the image on the house? I just created it with ChatGPT. I don't know if it's good or bad, or I'm open to new images for that house.
Yeah, I think it's good.
It works.
Actually, you should just use your profile, Mojo. Condition with the profile.
Yeah, branding.
Yeah, definitely stick to that profile.
zoom right up to the cigar in your mouth.
Your PTR is proof that AI has increased significantly since your former iterative PTR.
John, if you do the poem, take your time, okay? Take your time.
Okay, this is the poem. Observe for yourselves the decay of the sense of sin, the growth of innocence and irresponsibility, the strange modifications of the reproductive instinct with a tendency to become bisexual or epicene, the childlike confidence in progress combined with nightmare fear of catastrophe against which we are yet half unwilling to take precautions. Consider the outcrop of dictatorships, only possible when moral growth is in its earliest stages, and the prevalence of infantile cults like communism, anarchists, fascists, pacifism, health crazes, occultism in nearly all its forms, religions sentimentalized to the point of practical extinction. Consider the popularity of the cinema, the wireless, clubhouse, the football pools, and guessing competitions, all devices for soothing fractious infants, no seed of purpose in them. Consider sport, the babish enthusiasms and rages which it excites, whole nations disturbed by disputes between boys. Consider war, the atrocities which occur daily and leave us unmoved and hardly worried. We are children.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. You took your time.
Not bad. Oh,
Took your time. That was good.
you certainly have a way with words, sir. Sir, I don't know if sometimes I don't know if you're serious or if you're trolling. It doesn't matter. I find you to be a fascinating human. If this so-called political career doesn't pan out, I hope you consider getting into fiction, the world of fiction and nonfiction. At the very least, I hope you have a documentary crew following you around, sir.
Wait, hold on.
A subject and a character.
Oh, John, could you tell them about your plans with Never-Ending Story? John? Congressman?
He just jumped out the window. What happened? That was his last poem. I'm the last dragon. That's the last poet. I'm just joking.
I used rock imagine and I put in give me some images for rational discussion.
So here's the thing. Never-Ending Story is one of my faves, so I can't wait to hear what his idea is. Imagine this man is at a loss for words now. He can't even speak. What's going on, Congressman?
So, sorry if I stepped away. It's because I went to the kitchen. But yeah, you can always go on my YouTube Live to see if I'm in my office. What did you ask?
Wow. So you have cameras set up in all throughout your house watching you?
John, can you describe to them what you were going to do with Never-Ending Story?
Yeah, my sister and I were big fans of that film, and I looked up the German book, and you know I've been to a lot of Broadways, and I was an actor in junior high. I played Franklin Delano Roosevelt in my 8th grade play when I was only a 7th grader. But anyways, so you know I've been to Manhattan, and I've been to shows. I'm just like, man, if you could see the Never-Ending Story in Broadway, like wow, I mean that would be a long run, like. And it would be amazing if, because I've seen all of those. I'm like, fucking Never-Ending Story would be pretty easy based on, but it's not easy. I mean, The Lion King and all those things, they're all amazing, but Never-Ending Story has enough characters and enough pre-built-in music and enough in that book to make an amazing, theatrical performance.
So a musical, a never-ending story musical.
Yeah, like people go to Wicked. You could play, the witch in Wicked. Yeah, I think I saw it. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, I think that, it is I just it is so exhausting listening to heated conversations. So I hope Rational Discussion Group cuz no matter what happens, every room essentially is like a sine wave. It's peaks and valleys, and so de-escalation it happens naturally. But I'm just saying that this is what communication is. It's yin and yang. It's the Tao.
Time out, you there?
Yeah, what's going on?
What do you think about this never-ending story, the musical, sir?
I didn't see the movie.
What?
Leave me alone.
My word, time out.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of stuff. I left Hollywood behind. When I left, I left. Yeah.
I saw a Chinese production called Shenyun. Shenyun! And guess who funds Shenyun? It's the Epoch Times, which is an anti-Chinese, Gazette newspaper, and they published a lot of stuff on RussiaGate and all kinds of other things. A lot of investigative journalism, and they're an independent news agency. They are part of what's called the Falun Dafa. And they basically do Tai Chi outside of federal offices all the time, and they're very pleasant
And
people.
don't they also go to like fairs and like farmers markets and advertise this shit?
Yeah, it's called Falun Gong, and it is a Chinese dissident movement which feels that they were murdered and butchered by the communists, which is true. And these people have serious grievance, but they do it so peacefully and so blissfully that you would think that their grandparents were never murdered. You could call those people anarchists in a way. See, that's why I think listening to people's bad ideas and hearing how anarchinistic they are, how essentially it's based on violence or disruption as opposed to optimization. It is a breaking as opposed to a fixing and amending or a healing. So if you want to have real rational discussion group, essentially it is a psychotherapeutic group which does healing work, meditation work. But you could claim all communication is meditation. But is to me, all pleasant communication, is the desired state. And as a moderator, because you have that ability to censor, I think, a lot of the problems on this app is not just the speakers, but it's the lack of leadership or moderation, which wants to hear the bang. And, the bang is an epidemic in society. People are on this app road raging. And if they're road raging here, that means that there is a lot of built up anger in society that can explode at any moment. I saw a car accident today. One of the guys in the car got out to beat the shit out of that other guy. And, road rage kills.
Congressman, let me ask you something real quick. Do you think your social experiment with Clubhouse and your opinion of Clubhouse users and how you use that to, I don't know, navigate this app, tap into rooms, record, etc., is a form of anarchy?
No, because I'm actually agnostic as to every single speaker because I want to flush my memory of it. And so basically, I don't even want to have the same conversation twice. Filming a lot of conversations basically limit. You don't want to do redundancy in your communication anymore. So, to me, the videos that I've created of people speaking, it's gone from my memory, and so, but I just use that as a basis of comparison as opposed to looking around my room and seeing 1,000 books that I would rather put that information into my brain than have meaningless, endless discourse and rhetoric on this app. But see, the thing is, I wish I could clone myself so I could continue filming it all and disassociate completely and, charge ahead as a congressman and just read more books, be more. I've done all this for many years. I'm just trying to say that if I'm really running for Congress, so it's to not have basically a daily to-do list and actually executing. Like today, I got the bank account open. The banker finally opened the stupid campaign to elect John Kitover account. It took her a month. But, I can start fundraising very soon. So I've had some press on X. I had a big, interview / debate conversation on X with a lot of locals who are interested in GOP politics in the Chicagoland area. So it's just a daily thing. I like it because it's fun. It's content creation. And I think, what's crazy is when you work in the federal government, you can't necessarily do social media. Some people get away with it somehow. People in high up positions in government, then they censor they'll delete their LinkedIn. People post crazy shit that are high up in the government or the military. And my point is that AOC and Mom Donnie and countless others who are making a lot of money and sending out a lot of checks and voting on a lot of acts and passing $1 trillion bills. These people are basically social media content creators and spammers. Their intelligence, their position, it's almost all DEI. It's not really based on economic intelligence, philosophy, ethics, or morals. It's more based on branding, modern marketing, that type of communication. So, I have to.
Would you say that PTRs are communication?
Yeah, 100%. It's a conditioning, and I really experienced it.
Take a look at mine.
Oh no, I kind of like the white one, to tell you the truth. That one was, yeah. This one is good too. Actually, there's no
I
bad.
was told by Issa that I need to have a broader chest, more muscles. So this is what ChatGPT gave me.
You should do an Arab, a Muslim, and then they'll really come get you.
This is one other suggestion I have for this app, because it might not last forever, but I think an interactive real life experience where you have an auditorium, you sell tickets, and then essentially you live stream Clown House to the audience. And then, basically it's like being a modern day Mozart or director producer. You are literally showing people the insanity of this neural network that's happening in this app and all the communications. And people would just watch this. They might laugh, they might, walk out, but I'm just saying that to film that interactive experience would be like one higher level of what I'm doing now. Maybe it's too much, but it would be fun to do. I just feel like it's a lot of organizing. I don't necessarily want to do it, but I think that would be an awesome film, and I would watch that. I would love to see people experience Clubhouse in a movie theater. I mean, this app doesn't publish anything. Have you seen their X account? It's like a debt. They don't market anything. It's just empty social media platforms. They don't publish anything. Like, they have their town hall whenever. I mean, I'm just saying that there's no way that this app can really go forward, or maybe even maybe it'll get acquired. But when you hear Paul and Rohan, not Rohan, who's the security enforcer with the mohawk? What's that guy's name? Joe Armenia, or whatever his name is. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that.
We call him Faggot Joe.
Yeah, I mean, he has deleted a lot of accounts, and I've seen him pop in rooms and like sit in the audience and listen. I mean, I haven't seen him in a while, but like, how is it that the people who own this app and supposedly work on it day to day, like, don't actually use the app? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I'm sure you got that all documented, right? With the whole fall of Clubhouse and all the shenanigans that happened. That was really disappointing, But being an actor and being in Hollywood for a while, back and forth when I was much younger, and seeing how those people act out there. When I came back and during the pandemic and get on Clubhouse, it was the same kind of people.
PTR.
Okay, yeah. That will laugh and smile and have something else going on. Let's see. It's the same one.
You know, we went till 5 o'clock last night.
No, it's not the same one. It went from a tan suit to a white suit. It was a little off-white in the last one. Now it's more snow white.
Mojo, do you realize last night was the first room I ever went to bed where the sun was up when I was done using this stupid app, and that was like at 5 something in the morning. I couldn't believe how long I was on this app
You guys were up
yesterday.
that late? Yeah.
We were doing big things. This is when you know what got the room going was Serendipity was telling us about her favorite sexual positions, and that's what kept the room going.
After hours.
See, I mean, you know, in hindsight, like, I'm really happy I film all this stuff, and I hope people maybe someday in the future they're like, I think people will look back at their experience here. I might look back with shame, but see, the positive optimist in me, and who, you know, I hope, because this is like a very lazy business. You just hit live stream, you hit cut, you hit publish. I'm not doing anything. It's really the network that's involved in the conversation, but by publishing it, like, I force people into these other platforms, and like, whether you like it or not, like, you're in it. So to me, that's like forcing an arrangement which I can't do any other way, only digitally or through these cellular devices and these software programs. Like, that to me, like, you know, is going into. I'm 42, but I'm just saying, any kind of business where you're like in the gray zone, I don't, whatever that means. I'm just saying that to me, what I think I'm doing is, you know, eccentric. I wouldn't, you know, call it brilliant, and I wouldn't call it even intelligent. I would just say I'm using what's available. But I think because life is almost just brains, it's just people. Like, everything else, the whole material world is, you know, just stuff. But our little bodies don't take up a whole lot of space. So the fact that I can network in a different alternative way by publishing on many platforms, to me, it's like, you know, I don't know. I'm just doing it. I think it's smart, and I hope it has lasting effect of some sort.
Yeah, it's interesting because Clubhouse having people from all over the world, right? You're grabbing not just people that are Americans, you're grabbing all kinds of people from all over the place. So that's what's interesting about it. It's got so much depth there.
Yeah, I mean, if like the global communication revolution or global communication network means anything, like, this app is, you know, the case study for it, or X Spaces or other global apps. The thing is, though, I have noticed that many rooms with non-native English speakers who tend to dominate the conversation, it's a lot of fun using your words. It's like, it's basically an animal chirping, or, you know, meowing or barking. I mean, you know, we do it for feedback, for pinging. So there's a lot of linguistic and communication, like, axioms or principles. You know, Noam Chomsky, I had this one book on phonology. To me, it looks like bullshit. You know, all these mathematical equations about linguistic communication, and like turning it into math. In hindsight, you know, I have my doubts about people who put up these crazy math equations, and, you know, maybe I know I'm stupid. Like, there are really intelligent people out there that truly understand these things and have vast vocabularies with regards to math. But I know I can't create a cell phone. I know I can't create a semiconductor. I know I can't build a house. I know that communication, to me, is the smartest game I can play.
Roger, you should have him come on your show every once in a while, huh? What do you think?
He is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You got a specific title for John? John the Congressman?
You have to understand, up until Clubhouse changed their rules about allowing anonymous accounts that couldn't get kicked out of the room, John was one of the most unliked people on this app. Yeah, he was. And then what I reconciled was the idea that, okay, because he streams the rooms, right? And a lot of people would complain, and they would say, "Hey, you don't record the rooms, but it's being streamed. What could you do?" So then it would be like, "Okay, we'll just kick them out." And now that you can't kick it out, it's like the app is saying that they want this to happen. So you can't fight reality. It is what it is. So you just tell people, "Hey, look, these rooms are going to be streamed. It is what it is." And so, but we tried to fight it. John will tell you, we really tried to fight it.
Yeah, and I fought back a lot. I mean, I've really dedicated an insane amount of time to this app, creating accounts, creating rooms. I love to complain like Monica, but I know how much you love Monica. I love Monica too. Actually, the amazing thing is like when I hear the hate speech stuff and the random usage of profanity and constant random usage of profanity, that to me is just so like mind-numbingly brain damaging that I know that books are my salvation. And a lot of people profess all or nothing positions, but they're not reading to me from a book. And I got to tell you, when I read a book, I am so impressed with how much more intelligent that communication is than what I hear on Clownhouse.
Yeah. Oh, look who's back.
I've always been here.
Oh.
So, have you repented, Rich?
No, I'll double down.
Damn.
I love that Monica doesn't know the truth.
Monica, because she comes in here just for a second, right? I think she's trying to tease you, Roger. She comes in for a little bit, teases you, and then she runs away like a little girl.
Well, no, she goes into other rooms and like espouses like racist ideology. Something she hates black people.
Just true.
She does. Wait, you're new to this, right, Tom?
Oh my God.
You
Rich.
know that Monica hates black people?
Rich, let me.
Monica does not hate black people. This is ridiculous.
Okay. She thinks that white people are superior. Sorry.
She hates black people. Yeah. She hates white people too. How about that?
No, she thinks white people are the greatest things since sliced bread.
No. Hold on. I used to have a $500 bounty if anybody could have produced one single instance of a screenshot of something that Monica said was racist, or an audio clip of her saying something racist. And when I had that $500 bounty, nobody collected it. Nobody collected. In fact, the only person that tried to collect was Hakima, and Hakima, he PTR'd a photo that she had PTR'd, where it was an image of a ghost, and it said, "This is some bullshit." And Hakima said that the ghost with the sheet over it was clearly a reference to the KKK.
Oh, you guys aren't part of the clubhouse, or the Chillis Discord. Sorry. You guys should see all like the neo-Nazi Twitter propaganda shit that's on there. It's amazing. Why I call her a mud shark is because she talks about mud shark, white women who fuck black guys. Yeah, I know she is. I think she's like that. She's trolling, but I think part of her.
That's probably racist.
Richard.
Okay, Dawn, have you not seen Monica put racist shit in the clubhouse Discord? Come on. Or chill Discord.
No, I haven't seen.
So you haven't seen like the neo-Nazi Twitter account that she like on Discord? That you click on it and you're like, oh, this is pretty.
No, I haven't.
And then you click on the Twitter and you look through it and it's all like the neo-Nazi propaganda.
No.
Oh, okay.
I really haven't. So.
Are you doing the "Hey, big girls are beautiful" thing right now, Dawn? Just like,
what does that mean?
That's like where women just like see a 400-pound girl and they're like, she's so pretty.
No.
She just take Monica aside because she has a badge.
Wait, hold on. It's easy to tell people that so-and-so is a racist. It's much more difficult to prove it. Why don't you give your best piece of evidence?
I'm not in the Discord. I delete the Discord.
So what you just said was that you have zero evidence that Monica's a racist.
Anecdotal, that's all.
Well, Raj,
what's his gentleman's name?
Oh,
Rich. Is Jesus? No.
Yes, the same Jesus guy.
He changed. I turned to the other one.
No, I didn't. Roger kicked me because I said that I used a different word. And then he kicked me.
Are you gay? Don't disrespect. Are you sure?
Okay, time out. One of the things that you said was straw manning my argument. I never brought up gay people. I said that Necro
has a contention with God. He has an argument against God because of God's morality that he imposes upon the world. And Necro doesn't like that God says that you can't be a sinner, you can't be a homosexual, you can't be A, B, and C. And I listed off all the things. And the only thing anybody in this world was, oh, he said gay. But I said you can't be a fornicator, a liar, an adulterer, a murderer.
There's like a low IQ anti-Semitism, which is really hard to
all the pro-LGBT people were like, oh, you said gay in there. I said you can't be a sinner and enter the kingdom.
Fun, the way people know how to do fun, right? I don't know if you've done it, but if you just have fun,
okay, well, I don't agree with you, and that's fine. I'm sure we'll fight over that for a while.
Yeah, this life is fleeting and meaningless in the sense that eternal life is forever. So you're going to live 100, 115 years, that's it. And then you're going to die, you're going to stand before God, God's going to judge. Eternal life is a small stuff.
Do you mean just if you're God, or do you just mean in general you shouldn't make laws over subjective opinions?
I think that's a good general rule, not just like only for God. I think nobody should make subjective.
So why do you think, like, do you live in California by chance?
Wait, Paulus, before you answer that question, can I ask you to put me in the queue, please?
New Testament is. Oh yeah, that's nice. Do you know this guy?
Yeah, Honey Badger and I, we throw big barbecues. We do full slabs of rib, half pounds chicken. It's $14.99 plus honey barbecue glaze sauce. You get a free small Miller High Life, and I will personally roll you a little papyrus.
Okay. Great, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, so do you think that the legal drinking age in your state is objective?
Really good. I think it's based on
welcome to the faith, I guess. I do see you in the room, so I appreciate you being here, my friend. It is a little hard to understand you, but you're welcome to be here and just try to learn what you can. There's a lot of smart people that come in these rooms, so it's good to have you, Abba.
And I had some story too.
Yeah, Chinadu, go ahead and say something that's going to be, yes, go ahead, Chinadu, please.
I don't get it.
Well, that person has the power to say, yes, I'll give you the money, or no, I won't. That's the kind of power that Jewish people have.
But who created the bank? Who created the Federal Reserve in 1938?
Well, he is Philistine, but I don't disagree with your statement. But here's the thing: when you look. Nobody likes bad publicity. So when I say they scream and yell, look at Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and a number of those black activists and black political leaders. Where did their clout come from? It came from them going to businesses and saying, well, we don't think you're racially sensitive enough.
By the way, I
so
agree.
we have
That's
a program that will cost you $1 million and we'll bring in our instructors to make
you didn't think Christianity was true. I mean, sorry. If you didn't think theism was true and then you come to believe that it's true, I think you should raise the probability that like all subsets of like theism. You should raise it a bit, but just maybe not significantly, but I think to some extent, yeah, it should count as some evidence for it.
Oh, nice. So you're agreeing with that, basically?
Yeah.
See, Chinadu's a noble man. He doesn't just throw written.
I cannot take you, motherfucker.
Like, you know what? Some of the stuff y'all are saying ain't right. Come up here, Ray. I know you got a 300 40 verbal IQ was higher.
He's a straight shooter.
You got a higher IQ than Webby. Webby's got 170.
I was actually just coming on stage to say I've never met someone as depressed, as kind of chronically online incel as Webby in a long time. So I'm happy to debate him.
This guy's just projecting because he got exposed for asking a minor for nudes on Discord. What a weirdo. I don't want to talk to him, Andrew. He's a pedophile.
What a chronically online joke to make.
Look, he's just projecting more. Look at him.
Wobby, I can hear in your voice you're unhappy. Talk to me.
In real life, buddy, I would beat your ass.
How much you weigh?
I'm 115 right now.
So if you communicate wisdom, and even if you force it, it's still better than having endless conversations.
Anything else there, Rick?
Yeah, 115 pounds.
Yes, sir.
When I have sex with a 115-pound girl, I'm happy she's getting.
Hi, Andrew. This is Congressman John. If you could put me in the queue, thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. Yes.
You're gonna have him on.
Ray, what would you like to say to Webby?
Well, I don't think Webby's a theist, so I don't really have anything to say to him.
Well, he can own you on moral realism.
He's a Spinozan.
Yeah,
he's a moral realist.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so I guess what is a moral to you, Webby? What is morality?
Yeah, I think morality is just going to be like a set of evaluative facts that are going to be irreducibly normative on my view. But that just means to say that moral facts are true, but they're explained by like a non-cognitivist framework. Can you repeat everything I just said and demonstrate you understand it?
Yeah, I understand. You think
Gary's right. So this is counter-programming. This is like when CBS doesn't like what NBC's do.
Roger, did you see a little Astro when you went in Steve's room? Cartel?
I did. Yep, I certainly did.
And did he apologize to you? For taking off?
No, he acted like he didn't know who I was.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah. So you did get it. Yeah. You did get under his skin. Okay. Yeah. Got it. You got under his skin.
Don, your mic's open. Not sure if you intended that.
Is it? I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You weren't making noise. I just didn't want you to do something like you might have decided to go pleasure yourself, and then we would have been listening in, and I didn't want to be that guy.
I'm putting dinner away. I made dinner, and I'm putting the leftovers away. I just finished, so thanks for telling me.
Yeah. I'm here for you.
John Kitover of the 16th District of Illinois. All debts contract the U.S. Constitution, Section 2 of the United States, Section 1.
All right, guys. I'm going to get going here. I'm going to watch some TV. But keep your eyes out. Tomorrow should be the first episode of Rational Discussion Group. I don't know what the title is yet because I don't. Well, actually, hold on. Let me go peek and see if the Critical Thinking Forum has put tomorrow's title up, because all we're going to do is borrow their title. There's no reason to put a lot more work into this than we need to. So yeah, I don't see it. I don't see them having a title for tomorrow. We will see. We'll figure it out tomorrow.
Before you go, Roger, I got a question about Hekima. He comes.
That's Hekima.
Hekima. I was gone for like a long time, right? And then I came back and saw you on the app. I said, okay. And that brought me back to that fun time in your rooms, right? And I just fascinated. He comes to the room for hours on it, and he rarely says anything. What do you think? It's background? It's like.
Sometimes he's driving Ubers. Sometimes he's got passengers in the car. Other times he doesn't want to jump. Look, people in this room, I don't know what it is. When Hekima speaks, everyone just interrupts him all the time. And he's the most victimized person on this entire app.
And again, that's not me saying that. That's Hakima saying.
U.S. Constitution.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. All right.
Well, guys, I'm gonna go watch TV. But I'm gonna leave this room open. You guys behave yourselves, and yeah, take care.
Okay, have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, princess.
Good night.
Easy to figure out, right? So once you get that down, then you're gonna find like they really don't turn well. They kind of turn like kind of retarded because the engine is low and in the back, as opposed to in the front. You want the engine in front of your crotch, ideally, and low, not behind it. So I actually like went down on one because I was just turning it too hard, like I always do. I just turn too hard, I lose the wheels, it goes flying, whatever. And yeah, so teach yourself on an automatic that's small, and that's a scooter. And then you're gonna get bored of it because they're.
Well, what about mopeds?
Yeah, like a moped. That's the same thing. A moped is a scooter. It's just a small CC, little dinky, whatever. It's like riding a bicycle, but with a.
What about Vespa? Have you been on Vespa?
No, I don't even know what that is. I think they're like 12 grand, aren't they?
Yeah, Vespa, they're expensive. Let's just say somebody in my family has like Vespa from like 70s.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And it's still in mint condition. This is how good it is.
Yeah, people think they look cool again. I think they look like little bitch mobiles. I would never spend 12 grand on a scooter. That like sucks. I spent 12 grand on a motor.
No, but this one goes up to 100 kilometers or something.
Yeah, so did my little 125cc Honda Vario when I was overseas that I got for $1,700 new. You know, so yeah, I took it up to 100.
So do you have to put 2-cycle oil, or is it like a 4-cycle?
Fuck, I don't know. I just took it to the mechanic. It was like $20 for a tune-up whenever I wanted to do it. Super cheap. But yeah, you learn on that. Or, a lot of people in America, so that's the way people learn in Bali. In America, people learn on dirt bikes, but then still shifting is an issue. But kind of learning on a small CC dirt bike just out in the sand, it's like kind of hard to get hurt. You can still get hurt. You can still break your leg if you don't fall right. But at least if you're falling in the dirt and there's no cars around, and you're not falling on sharp rocks, like you should be mostly okay. But I don't know, do you know how to shift? Do you know how to drive like manual? Because that's kind of...
Yeah, no, I know how to drive manual.
Okay, well then motorcycle shouldn't be that hard. I mean, it's the same concept. It's just, your hand has the clutch instead of your foot.
Of course.
What?
Sarah Taylor, what the hell?
That's a good
I heard that they're the biggest ones. That's what I heard.
They're the biggest one.
I heard the ones with the longest skirts are the biggest hoes, but I don't know.
I actually heard nurses with the biggest sled.
Yeah, so
Watch your mouth.
Lauren?
Watch your mouth.
You think just like me? I was about to say that ain't what I saw in the movie theater with Boba.
Sure, and there's video on that too.
Well, at least I'm not the first lady with my cooch on the internet, so go there. All right.
What?
The president's wife got
Who's the first lady?
Did y'all get to see the cooch? How did it look? Y'all need to go look at the coochie.
Nah,
I like it.
I'm not privileged.
The first cooch.
Bust it wide open and let's bring it back. Hey.
Yo, Dr. You came back and heard the conversation and left again. You're tired of us. Oh, man. Y'all did put late cab conversation, so I mean, and it is late. It's damn near past midnight over here, so I'm just going by the title, Late Night Cab Combo.
So anyway, outside of President Trump, okay, so we found some common ground because we all lost those areas.
Yo, Daddy Magas, y'all want me to bring
everybody in the country lost. We all lost. Okay?
Yeah.
So now that we're all losers.
Is there any MAGAs that we have in the goo? Because I don't really know who's MAGA, who's not. Do y'all know?
No, I don't see any of my peeps down there.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
And you guys,
Now you a MAGA. Look at this. You see, yesterday you was a MAGA, then today you say I didn't vote for Trump. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I never voted. Years I didn't vote for Trump.
He's independent too.
You look like you was scared.
I've been eating for 2
Sit
years.
your
I don't
sweet
think
ass down somewhere and stop it.
I think you guys need to be a little bit more patient because I've never seen
Your pink Cuban, Dominican, Puerto Rican ass, you don't even know what the fuck you are.
Right.
Every day you claim another country. I heard you Mexican too. This shit is crazy.
I said I was a water Mexican. That was.
What are you?
So there was
You know how Donald Trump. Wait.
She another one.
So in
Y'all know how
Chile,
Donald Trump is in
oh my
Chile.
God, Brooklyn.
What is the flavor?